You got to know who self really is. Self is source. Self is pure positive energy. Self is worthy. Self is clear-minded. Self is healthy. Self is full of vitality. Self is eager about life.
The law of attraction is one of the strongest principles in the universe. It is a natural law that governs your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. It can be described as a universal law that states that like attracts like. When you think about someone, you are sending out a signal that includes a feeling and a desire for them to respond by thinking about you and having those same thoughts. Although it may sound like magic, it is actually quite simple. If you want something, then you must believe it will come into your life and fulfill your desire. The more confident you are about your goals and dreams, the more likely they will manifest into reality. Once this happens, then peace and happiness will follow naturally, as well as success at whatever endeavor it was that attracted these things toward you in the first place. Now listen from Abraham Hicks about it.
And you let being in this vortex, when you let tuning yourself into the vibrational frequency of all that you are be your top priority, you get so much life back. You know how many arguments, how many words, how many efforts, how much action is necessary just to keep you alive and out of desperation when you're not in the vortex. In other words, it's a big effort to live this life when you're counting on your words and your action and your effort to make it happen. It's interesting. You could just have a conversation with one very well-meaning mother about her child that she adores more than life itself, and listen to all of the gyrations that she is going through in order to sort of kind of understand what's going on with her little boy and put it in the proper perspective, when really all she needs to do is step away from whatever's bothering him and away from whatever's bothering her and focus upon something that gives her access to the vortex, and from inside the vortex, everything's clear. You cannot lead from behind. And if you are not in the vortex, then you have nothing to give anyone. Sometimes people say, Abraham, it seems like you teach selfishness. And we say we really, 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 really do. Because selfishness, let's define it. Selfishness means vibrational alignment with self. And in order to understand that, you got to know who self really is. Self is source. Self is pure positive energy. Self is worthy. Self is clear-minded. Self is healthy. Self is full of vitality. Self is eager about life. And when you are willing to be selfish, which means you are willing to mimic the vibration of self, which means you're willing to release the thoughts that hold you apart from that and practice the thoughts that cause you alignment with that, which simply means you're selfish enough to care how you feel. That's when they call it self. People say, oh, you're so selfish, you're pleasing. And what they mean is, you should please me. You're selfish because you please you, and I'm not selfish because I think you should please me instead of you? What's some screwy reasoning going on? And every time it matters to you to please them instead of you, oh, it's such short-term gain, because when you care about how someone else feels or how they are responding to you, so you behave in order to affect their response to you, you do them a very big disservice, because you teach them that through action and demand or cajole or control or power, that they can wrestle their life to the ground. And there's hardly going to be anybody as cooperative as you. Think about it. Have you ever had someone who was so cooperative they'd just do anything for you, and then they were the only one who would behave that way? So you just had that one friend. Often it was your mother. You weren't really ready for the world, were you? But when you show yourself that you have the power to come into alignment, not just with who you were before you were born, but with all that you've become ever since. Not just with you and all you've become, but with Source itself. When you show yourself that by being selfish, which means by reaching for the best feeling thought you can find on whatever subject is active, when you care about being in the vortex, you care about being in concert with the energy that creates worlds. And one who's in the vortex, one who's in alignment with that energy, is more powerful than billions who are not. It's such an interesting thing to watch what goes on in your, because you are so good at step one. Most of you have made such a career out of step one. You sift through the data and you know what you don't want and you know what you do want.